Here in Bentonville for a group ride tonight, and testing this new Checkmate has me kind of thinking about gravel bikes in general, and a little bit more curious what kind of bikes are out there and what other people enjoy riding. Nice.
What do you really like about your gravel bike?
What do I really like about it?
What do you like most about your gravel bike?
It just offers me freedom. I get to go wherever I want.
It's just super responsive. It's very lightweight.
It's got suspension, lets me go fast. It's green.
I like how comfortable it is. I like that I can feel comfortable going fast down gravel roads on it.
I really like the color, because green's one of my favorite colors.
And the fact that it's like, it is a gravel bike, but it's also like kind of not a gravel bike.
What do you think about the head angle of that bike?
The what?
The head angle.
What's a head angle?
Yep.
Dude, I don't really know.
Yeah, bro, I'm not gonna be able to. I don't know. It's good. It rips.
Seems like it's great. Works great. Couldn't tell you what numbers or angles or anything, but I like it.
I have had the bike now 2.5 months. Yeah. I got it the week of Rule 3 back in the end of May. I consider it my job to test equipment. A lot of times professional athletes are the first to get equipment, predominantly because we do a lot of riding and we ride hard. And so it's a really good testing ground for companies to make sure that the equipment is dialed safe and performing well before it goes to the masses. All right, let's quick do a run through the wheels. In today's day and age, technology is rampant in our industry. Bikes are evolving really fast. Gravel is rapidly changing, and there's a lot of different types of gravel and what gravel means for a variety of people. I'm a professional rider. I race bikes at one of the highest levels in gravel, and I don't even understand half of the geo and tech term that people throw around. And you know what? I don't have to. I don't have to let that stress me out. But at the end of the day, like, knowing your head tube angle or some geo spec that's obscure, you know, for me doesn't really do a lot. I just want to get on the bike, ride, and know how it feels. All right, just ready to get dirty again. Ooh, we got a spider in here. Ah, did you see that? Yeah. Oh, look at it. Ew, ew.
Not a fan?
No, I don't like spiders, not at all. Ooh, it's on the rotor. Get off my shiny rotor. Ooh, get it. I don't want to kill it, but ooh, it's in the tire. Hey. What I'm doing today is I'm gonna mount up 3 different wheel sets. 45 mil tires. I live in Bentonville, so cloud on the minimum. This is what I like to ride on most of my training and racing, really. Very nice. I'm coming off a really big week. This is my last couple days to get in some big rides before I head up to altitude for SPT. Also, last chance to test my equipment. I've had the bike now for 2.5 months, and I'm just gonna do the last few efforts just to make sure I really fully understand the limits of the bike and how it handles. So what we have on deck is a couple threshold efforts, 2x20. I like doing those on a specific gravel road that I'm very familiar with. It's pretty chunky, kicks up at the end. That will tell me how the bike handles when it's climbing. It also tells me how the bike handles at speed. So pro. Down through some sprints. Sprints are fun for me to do on a road. I almost never do them on gravel just because I'm working on form and power. These are the 2.1s. Let's see how they mount up. And then a lot of times on a big training block, the most important thing for me is to keep training fun. There we go. Such a good sound. So if I have a 5-hour ride and I have threshold in the beginning or tempo, then the last hour or two, I almost always try to find some single track. Oh, that's perfect, okay. This is gonna be a 26-hour week. We're gonna bomb through some gravel. Okay, that's cool. I'm on week 8 of like grinding out like some high volume, and almost all my training is on dirt. Oh yeah, no. All right, we'll put a 45 on the rear. That's still a reverse mullet, right? Parting the front, business in the back. A big concern for me when I get a bike that's racy and aerodynamic and stiff is like, how's my body gonna feel at the end of a long race that's chunky, like Unbound or in a big training block? But this bike does have ISO speed, and thus far, like, it's been feeling really good. So this week I've ridden my gravel bike pretty much every day, and just really testing how my body is feeling and breaking down after I'm riding like some chunky stuff most days. Two things that I noticed right away is the bike is lighter. You know, you feel that pretty quickly. As the bike's lighter, it climbs faster and it accelerates faster. So it just felt snappier. You know, you're doing a little acceleration here and there. Those fast, rapid pace changes in training kind of help you feel what the bike is like with pace changes in a race. And I could feel right away that that was faster. One of the test efforts is 2x20 at threshold. So the road that I'm doing is on Brush Creek, and it kind of starts off somewhat flat. So during that section, I'm really testing how the bike handles at speed. There's some corners and some flowy, fast, chunky gravel, and so just seeing how the bike handles through that. And then the last part of that 20 minutes is a steeper uphill that's really chunky. And so I'm really going to be feeling how the bike feels on a steeper climb and kind of at a race pace effort. For me, it's really important to know how the chunk feels at pace. And so it's important as a rider to understand what does something feel like at 25 miles per hour versus 20.
Oh, that was good. It's pretty smooth actually. And I was able to keep pedaling through a lot of the chunk. They just graded this road, so it felt good. This bike just puts you in that race position. It's kind of fun. So, yeah, I think there's two things. The first is to just kind of smooth things out. I mean, the ISO speed helps a lot with that. So for me to put down like 310 watts for 20 minutes on chunky gravel, yeah, I think that it shows me that the bike is just handling the terrain well. I mean, I dropped an e-bike, so.
It's true, she did.
Flow trail section, Snowbird, coming back from Bella Vista. I do that one a fair bit, and it's just a really fast trail. What's cool about riding this bike is that I'm just having fun on the trail. For me, single track isn't fun, it's stressful, but this just seems to feel really comfortable and give me a lot of control. And so I think it's confidence from me building my own skills, but then also confidence in how this bike feels. So now my 4-hour ride is finished. I'm gonna head home, get some recovery, and then get ready for another big day tomorrow. It's been a big week, really been a big block. I'm tired, like I'm definitely like fatigued, ready for racing to start so I can race and recover. I'm at the point now where I'm kind of through the skepticism and the concerns about the bike, feeling more confident in how it's feeling, how my body feels on it, and just enjoy having the opportunity to ride and race this new bike, one of 5 in the world currently. Yeah, I think at this stage, it's more about just having fun and going into races, knowing that my equipment's dialed. Bijou thinks that we're ready to rip, aren't we? Today's recovery day. I have what I would refer to as my party mode activated on the bike. So I got 2.2s up front here. They mount as 2.1. And then I got 45 on the rear. So this is the reverse bullet in regards to the tire setup. I'm gonna hit up some single track, just have fun. Today's all about just getting some recovery, spin the legs. be honest, like single track with this bike, with these hoods in particular, I'm able to ride on the hoods a lot more than in the drops, which is really fun actually. And it's just a different dynamic instead of being in the drops and feeling like I have to have my hands on a brake. The hoods and the control and the braking power that I have there is a big win. It handles really well on a single track, so much so that I've never taken my gravel bike down the castle, and that gave me confidence to like say, maybe I'll take the gravel bike to the castle and give it a rip. So a good sprint effort for me, it's a pavement section and you're going really fast downhill, and then at the bottom of the downhill, you kind of open it up into the sprint. Sprinting, you want to feel sprints at full speed. So if you try sprinting from a stop versus sprinting from a tailwind or a downhill, it will feel very different. It's just fast. I mean, it's responsive. I think the biggest thing for me is that the bike has somehow nailed being fast, aerodynamic, and responsive, but yet doesn't tear my body apart. Gravel demands a lot on the body. I just think that this bike has nailed that. The process of getting the unreleased bike, you don't really know a lot until you get the bike in hand. So it's more about like you're being told the bike's going to be faster or lighter, or this is changing or that's changing, but until you have your hands on it, you really don't know. You know, we're at the point now we're always pushing the boundaries for equipment. Faster, stiffer, all of these things that make the bike faster, but there's generally compromise. I've ridden on bikes that feel very snappy and fast, but like as soon as you hit anything rough, your body starts to feel it. And what's cool is that this bike celebrates that. If you look at the bike, it has an opened ISO-speed design, so you can see that from the side of the frame, whereas the Checkpoint had covers over it. And so I think this bike is really celebrating gravel and saying, yeah, like we can be fast, we can be aerodynamic, but we can still have some protection of the rider's body too. Going into Unbound, I kind of told myself that my fitness was down because of the injury, but I had this new bike. I had been given an opportunity to test this new bike, and I was one of 5 riders that had the opportunity to ride this bike or see it in person. I kind of threw caution to the wind. Instead of pacing, I raced really aggressively, and the bike was feeling good and I was feeling good, and that ended up leading to a really positive day, a very surprising day for a lot of people coming back from the injury. Is it the bike? Is it me? I don't really know, but it was synergistic with how I felt mentally. And I think as a professional rider, that's huge. If you go into a race and you're doubting your equipment, if you go into a race and your bike feels slow up a climb, it can get in your head. And this bike allowed me to remove any of those doubts that you can have. You have to make sure that you're fully confident in all of your equipment so that when you line up, there's no doubt during the race.
So what's your favorite thing about riding gravel?
My favorite thing about riding gravel is, I don't know, it feels nice being out in the country. I grew up in the country, a small town in Missouri, and it feels like home out on the gravel roads.
The community, getting outside, you never know where that gravel road's gonna reach and where it's gonna take you. Every ride is different.
I really like how social it is. It's super fun. Mountain biking, you can't really talk to people, but gravel riding, you can talk to people the whole time. And you see adorable farm animals and beautiful views, and you're in the shade, and it's awesome.
Getting to ride together.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, everyone is different. Gravel is a pretty vague term nowadays. Gravel can mean underbiking. Gravel can mean a smooth champagne gravel road. So when you're looking for a new gravel bike, don't look at what's best for me. I want to tell you to go buy this bike, but at the same time, you have to know what's best for you. Where do you ride? Are you planning on racing? What's your terrain like that you're there? Is it rocky? Is it steep? All of these things are really important to ask because it's going to be different for what one person wants versus the other, and that's okay. That should be celebrated. And there's a lot of bikes out there. There's a lot of options. First, ask yourself like what you need, and do your own research and just rely heavily on what feels best for you.